What is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and today we're going to be speaking about whether or not you should be buying stocks at the moment. The market is starting to rally back up, things are looking good, my portfolio is looking a lot better than it was a couple of weeks ago, and I know a lot of people are in the same situation. When the market was going down so heavily, it was red day, it was record breaking red day after record breaking red day, people were afraid to invest because they just thought it was going to keep going down forever. And now that the market has started to go back up over these last few weeks gradually, people don't want to invest because they only want to invest on red days. Just remember this, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. So what I want to do today is I want to speak about whether I think that you should or should not be selling stocks. I'm going to speak about the kind of stocks that I will continue to buy going forwards, even when things are going well, even when we are seeing these green days, and what stocks I'm going to stay away from for a little bit. And something really excited that I want to say to you guys is, this merch, this Not a Financial Advisor hoodie, this t-shirt, and even this mug, I'm currently in the process of making these products available for you guys to buy, because I've had a few people ask me where you can pick them up. At the start it was just a bit of a joke, but if you guys want them, I'm going to make the store for you guys. So it's in the very early stages, you'll see it on the screen now. I'm just getting things up and running a little bit, but I am very excited to get this up and running so you guys can actually buy these products. It's going to be so cool just having an army of people walking around in these hoodies. So I don't know exactly when it's going to be launched yet, but I will of course keep you all up to date. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support me, please smash that like button. It helps me out so much. Drop me a comment, let me know what stocks you're currently buying at the moment, or if you're just staying out of the market, if you're very cash heavy. And subscribe if you're new around here. We post every single day, baby. But yeah, baby, this merch is coming soon. But with all that being said, guys, let's get straight into the video and speak about what stocks I think you potentially should or could be buying right now, and what ones I'll be staying away from. So we're going to start it off by having a quick look at the S&P 500 and how it's done over the last month and the last week. So the last month, we can actually see we're up about 8% so far, which is, quite tasty considering where we are only a few months ago. From the highs down to the lows, we were down 33%. As of right now, we're only down 12.6%. So the recovery as of late has been absolutely fantastic. And a lot of people don't understand why. And this actually causes concern for a lot of people because there's still so much uncertainty in the world. There's still so much bad going on in the world. Why is the market going back up? Is the market crash 2.0 inevitable? You know what I mean? This is the question that a lot of people are asking themselves, and this is why a lot of people are reluctant to buy stocks right now. The last 5 days up 5%. It's been a fantastic few weeks, especially considering what we have been used to the last 2-3 months. As of right now, there's certain sectors, there's certain stocks that I'm more inclined to buy than others. The first sector I'm still relatively happy to buy. Now, so be it, that doesn't mean I'm buying it every single day or even every single week, would be the high paying dividend stocks, because a big reason we buy these guys is because of their dividend. It's not even necessarily because of the share price a whole lot of the time. Now, obviously, it goes without saying, we would rather buy them low, it makes sense, but I feel comfortable buying these companies who have the 8-9% dividend yields, even if they're not as low as they were. We'll speak about Altria for a second, a company I've spoken about a couple of times as of late, okay, and they dropped down as much as 37.38%, so not terrible, pretty average, somewhat average. Right now they're still down 24.11%. These guys have an 8.84% dividend yield, which is obviously an absolutely massive dividend yield, and is a massive reason why you would buy a company like this. They are one of these high paying dividend stocks. The standard stuff you look for, your high dividend yield, and then also that 50+ year dividend streak. Exxon Mobil up next. This is one of my favorite companies out there right now, full stop. And if I'm to buy anybody, these are definitely going to be up there in the list. So from the highs, we're down about, let's say, 55%, and they're still down 35% or so. And again, massive dividend of 7.74%, and an uninterrupted dividend streak of 37+ years. So basically, I'm still quite happy to just invest in, my big dividend payers. And when I say my big dividend payers, I mean the ones who are 6-7+%. I don't mean the ones who are 2-3%, even 4%. Because usually if you have a company who's only paying a 2 or a 3% dividend, you're also banking on their long-term growth prospects. And as I said earlier, of course, we want to see these stocks go up in value. You wouldn't invest in them otherwise. But a massive part you buy these is for the dividend. And just one more example I'll give you, AT&T with that 7% dividend yield and a 36+ year dividend streak. One reason I do quite like these is they've not made much of a recovery yet. Now, they only dropped 30% and they're still down 22%. But again, when a company pays such a big dividend, a lot of the reason you buy them is for the dividend. So these are still the kind of stocks I'm inclined to buy, you know, your high yield dividend stocks, because these are ones that you just plan on buying pieces of, you know, every week or two or every month or so, whenever it is. These are the kind of companies who I would hope that in 10-15 years will pay me a considerable amount of money every 3 months, every time they pay out that dividend. And that's why, you know, they would rank highly on my list of stocks that I'm willing to buy right now. So the next kind of companies I'd be willing to buy right now, okay, are your big tech guys. So Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. They're who I'm referring to when I say big tech. Usually I say giant tech. And the reason I'm happy to buy these guys right now is just because of how much each of their individual stock prices have grown over the years. Amazon 5-year chart up nearly 500% with next to no even decent sized dips, and they're currently at all-time highs despite everything that's going on in the world. Apple's 10-year chart over 1000%, and again with minimal dips. Microsoft 5-year chart about 300%, Facebook up about 630% in 8 years, and Google up about 500% in 10 years. So these are the kind of reasons when you see companies with that much growth in the 5 to 10 year period, you expect it to keep happening. And another thing is these are all industry leaders. They have shown themselves to grow in both good times and bad, and they're just relatively safe bets. I mean, Warren Buffett has nearly 80 million in Apple alone. That is a big portion of his portfolio. Pretty much 40% of his portfolio is just Apple, and we're speaking about Warren Buffett. But these are just the kind of companies who I would be relatively happy to buy on green days and red days, because I believe in the next 10-20 years the growth is going to be disgustingly amazing regardless. And these traditionally aren't companies who we see big drops in very often whatsoever. So if you're trying to wait for the perfect entry, you could be waiting a very, very long time. And by the time the next dip does come, the next considerable dip comes, it may be a higher price than where you could just get in right now. Now, the only other sector I'll be willing to invest in until, you know, I start to see some more red days, I'm looking at companies like JNJ, Pepsi, Procter & Gamble's, you know, your consumer staple stocks who do pay a dividend and who have had some absolutely beautiful growth over the last few years. These are companies not like Apple or Amazon who you can expect to maybe make 50 to 100% on per year. They're not. But these are companies who you can reliably expect to, you know, at least perform equal to, if not slightly above the market as a whole. I'm speaking about the S&P 500, and also pay a rather attractive dividend. Now, I'm not speaking 7, 8, 9%. I'm speaking 3, 4%. In here, I could also include people like Cisco, like Walt Disney, like McDonald's, a few of those kind of people, you know, not the ones who have been hit the absolute hardest, but the ones who have traditionally performed quite well over the last 5, 10, 20, 50 years and pay somewhat of a decent dividend. But what differentiates these guys from the first group of dividend paying stocks that I spoke about is that I'm not as confident. I would rather buy these guys at a little bit more of a discount, because you see it does happen quite often on the 5-year chart here, even for Johnson & Johnson, a company that a lot of people perceive to be the safest in the world. There is oftentimes these decent drops, you know, 10, 15, 20% even, and they can happen very quickly. So I would somewhat rather wait for at least a red day, at least 5% drop, but they're still very much so up there if I did have to buy some stocks. So now a few companies that I want to buy, but I'm only going to do so if I see some more red days. It's that simple. So if you know me, you know I absolutely love my airline stocks, but I'm not buying any right now. Look at the last week for Delta. The last 5 trading days were up nearly 25%, which I am very, very, very happy about. But also, do I expect it to just keep going up forever? No, I definitely do think we're going to see more red days, so that's why I'm not going to buy any of these right now. And then the only other airline I am in is Southwest, and they're up, you know, 22.5% more or less as well. Some airlines will be up more, some will be down less. You could also include Boeing in here, who is a company I have a full video on that I do want to buy, just not right now. But right now I won't be buying any of these airline stocks because the future of them is just up in the air. So I'm going to be happy if they keep going up, of course, and I will not buy more until they come back down. But you can bet that I am very happy these companies are up 25%, especially when you think about the fact that Delta is indeed my biggest investment right now. And the next companies that I really, really do want to buy, but I want to see some more red happen first, is certain, now I say certain, oil related companies. If we talk about the likes of 3M, the likes of Chevron, I'm looking through my thing right now, the likes of Caterpillar, the likes of Exxon that I actually said I would buy earlier, I'm not necessarily speaking about those guys. What I'm doing is I'm speaking about the ones who have been hit quite hard. I'm speaking the likes of these guys, Enterprise Products Partners, a company I do own, who are down, what, from the very highs, they dropped down about 57%. They're still down 35%, but that does equate to a 53% gain from the bottom. In the last month, up about 20% or so. And given, how uncertain the world is in regards to oil, in regards to supply and demand, in regards to what is going to happen next, that's why I'm not completely confident buying more of these guys. So the big guys, yeah, maybe I'll buy some. I don't really feel like adding to my positions in them right now just because I'm a little bit uncertain. But guys like this, midstream natural gas and crude oil pipeline companies, the likes of those, the people who are right in the middle of it, they're the ones who I want to see some more red days in before I go ahead and pick up more. So now a little bit of a quick fire round. Some sectors I've no interest in buying right now until, something changes. So the likes of Franklin Resources, an American multinational holding company. Again, the future is just so uncertain right now. I want to wait until, the economy is back into a bit of a better place. We have the likes of NAT and VTIQ, aka Nikola. Spec stocks, I'm staying away from them, not necessarily even because of what's going on, I just don't like spec stocks. Cruise lines, okay, I hate to be the one who says it, but I still don't believe in them. I still don't want to buy any right now. I see the appeal, there's still so much bad news, so much bad press, I could well see them losing an awful lot of value again. So again, I may well buy them someday in the future, but that time is not right now, so I won't be buying any cruises. And then lastly we have bank stocks. Now this pains me to say, because I bought them only last week. I wish I hadn't have at this stage. I've owned Wells Fargo for a long time, they're one of my worst performing stocks, and I do want to buy more at some stage, but the time is not now. The other bank stock I own is JP Morgan, and again, I would love to buy some more at some stage, but the time is not right now. There is no signs that these are going to go back up anytime soon. So I do most certainly in the very, very long term believe in these bank companies. And I think to not believe in them would be a little bit silly from a very long term point of view. Because obviously when things are going good again, the banks are going to do well. So until things do start to pick up, I will not be buying any of these right now. They're just too much of an emotional roller coaster. So guys, that's where I stand. You know what I mean? I know I didn't go through every single sector in the entire world, but they're the ones that most relate to me. So although I am still quite cash heavy, I'm not investing particularly heavy. I haven't bought anything into the market this week. I am still buying stocks on a regular basis, and I will never go 2 weeks without buying some sort of stocks. That's just not the way I'm going to work. I'm staying away from some of my biggest investments right now, the likes of airlines and everything along those lines. They're just not for me right now. I absolutely love them in the long term. I have my positions, I'm happy with them. I'm going to stay away for a while. And then the things that I will be buying are more so, your safer stocks, so the tech giants and the dividend paying companies. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, so always come up with your own plans. Always buy the stocks that you want to buy after you've done your analysis, after you've looked at the fundamentals and decided, you know what? I like these guys at this price, I'm going to get in. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, please smash it a like, I appreciate it massively. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will catch you all for tomorrow's video. Have a great day, people. Peace.